Welcome to Sweatpants to Suits, the podcast where we dive into the journeys of career professionals, uncovering the secrets to transforming from sweatpants mode to suits success. Join us as we explore personal stories, insights, and strategies for cultivating a growth mindset and achieving your vision of success. I'm your host, Jerry. Are you ready to up your game? Let's dive in. Dominic Cruz is on a mission to teach you his dynamic and engaging public speaking style. He is an event emcee and keynote speaker who has appeared on NBC, ABC, and CBS News. Today we're going to talk about Dominic's speaking style, how to eliminate the fear of public speaking, how to captivate an audience with storytelling and networking. Dominic, it's a fantastic day for a podcast episode. Can you please tell us how your story started?
Well, first and foremost, Jerry, thank you so much for having me on this podcast. I'm very grateful for this opportunity and to share my story with your audience. And I love the first question, how did my story started? Back in 2018 is when the journey started. And to be honest, I ran a social media agency. So after I got let go by my last job, I decided to just go full-time entrepreneur. And I was like, I need a mentor. Looking back at it, I wish I can go back in time, but that's another story. I got introduced to public speaking back in 2018. And I also stumbled upon being an MC. And I was probably being an event MC 3-4 times a week, just gaining experience over and over. And this was during I used to host mixers, seminars, workshops. There was also conferences that I've also was a part of. It was a lot of fun. And then the more I got used to it and the more I was doing it, the more I was like, you know what, this is awesome. I love it. I love the stage. I don't understand why people have fear of public speaking, but you know what? More for me. So my story started from then, and then I stumbled upon the nightlife where I was part of a club crawl company, and part of my job is being an MC and having fun. And I really loved it because it was just getting people hyped, getting people engaged, and it just making sure that people are having 100% fun. And it didn't disappoint. So, and then of course, COVID happened, and then I had a reset where I had to put the speaking and MC thing away for a little bit. And I stumbled upon what I do today, where I work at. Of course, I work at a private business club. So think of like a country club, but it's a city club. And from then on, I not only do what I love, I sell memberships, but I also MC for them, but I also MC and public speak and the outside as well. So to this day, in 2024, I love it. Give me the mic. If you don't want to do it, I'll help you out.
Wow, fantastic stories. So you started off small at these small networking events, then moved to the clubs, then eventually you appeared on major media outlets.
Yes.
Is that?
Yes, I appeared on major media outlets back in late 2018, 2019. And it was, and honestly, I thought it was like very difficult to do it, but with the help of with the help of some PR companies, they can actually make it very easy for you. Another thing that can also make it easy, you can co-author on books. Now, that's another way that you can get your name out there and so forth. However, those are the ways that you can get yourself on media outlets. I think the very easiest way to do it is just hire a PR company to do it for you, because there's so much little time to do it when you should be worried about the other things. And that's getting your message out and speaking to the crowd and inspiring and making things happen, because every little word that you say, it really does make an impact on people. And I remember saying this a long time ago, I just want to leave a good impact on people and making sure, and not only do they feel good, but they take actions to make their life better.
Wow. Wonderful, wonderful advice. Just to follow up, did they prepare you with a list of questions, or was it all impromptu when you first appeared on
Well,
television?
it was more impromptu. There's no real set of questions that you do ask or that they give you and stuff like that. Sometimes you don't even need to be on the you just get put on the uh you just get put on websites. They write press releases for you. That's another way you can get on the media outlets. So there's so many different forms of getting onto media outlets that people are actually paying attention to those. So it's pretty cool.
Wow. What is your source of energy for speaking at public events?
Oh man, you asked me that question. I think the source of energy comes from me. Uh, I'll just say I like to stay out of my head and just enjoy life. I like to stay in the present. I don't want to worry about the future. I don't want to worry about the past. I don't want to worry about anything other than being present. I think I've learned a long time ago, if you stay present, life is actually beautiful. And, I have a thing that I say every single day to my friends, to my closest friends, actually. And I say, let's get these dubs, which means let's get these W's. Then W stands for winnings. And honestly, when you live that abundance, that kind of lifestyle, it's that source of energy comes from within, and you just get very excited. I mean, I was very excited to come on to this podcast episode. I was super excited and I couldn't wait. I didn't know what I was going to say. I don't have any script in front of me or anything like that. I just got excited because I was presented an opportunity to be on your show, and this is really cool.
Is there like a pre-game ritual that you do to hype yourself up?
I think what I say all the time, and I say, let's get these dubs. And then
One,
let's get these dubs, and then let's make it happen. And really just don't think about anything else but what is in front of me? What do I need to do to accomplish? Who do I need to serve to make their life better?
what makes your speaking style special?
I think my speaking style is more from my energy, because I am a very energetic person, and my charisma. I like to I don't know. It's just the energy, the charisma, and just being in the present moment and just having fun. If I look at everything and just having fun, I'm pretty sure everyone else is going to feel the same thing. Because if you can agree, uh, let's say that when you feed off of other people's energy, you could feel from other people's energy and where they're coming from. And I just want people to feel good. Now I feel good, but I just want them to enjoy themselves. And I enjoy myself a lot. I have great energy. I think just thinking about that, that's where my style comes from. And I think it also comes off as like sometimes I can sound blunt. And when I sound blunt, sometimes it can come off as rude, but that is my Boston accent that comes out sometimes. Uh and Yeah, I don't know how else to say about my speaking style. It's just like sometimes I can be blunt, and sometimes I can just um, be very well coming from an inspirational space, if that makes sense.
Wonderful. And when you want to how do you hype up the crowd? Do you tell a joke first at the beginning of a event, or do you tell them to make them into like a very cheery mood?
No, I actually do not tell a joke. Sometimes the jokes just come off, and sometimes I don't even try to joke, but it comes off as a joke, and I'm like, I didn't even say anything that was funny. But if they laugh, it worked, right? However, when I tell people, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I like to do a thing where if I need people to get hyped up, I'm gonna say, all right, everybody, I'm gonna count to three. I want everybody with their highest energy to go loud as you can. You want that energy's up. And sometimes they'll fall flat. And I will call people out. And it's like, no, 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 no. We need your energies up right now. You did not come here to do this and this and this. And I would say flat out and be boring. And when you actually call people out, that's like, I don't want to be boring. And then of course there's your other people that's like, I don't care. But when you call people out, it just send a message like, you came here for a reason. Let's have fun. And people's energies will spike up when you do it the second time. And it's actually easier to actually quiet people down when they can't hear you.
Whoa. So it's very contagious. One person starts having fun, the other person, and a whole bunch of crowd would gather around.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoy it.
How did you eliminate your fear of public speaking?
uh, get out of my head. Like, I just got out of my head. Nobody cares about your mistakes more than you do. The only person that cares about your mistakes is you. And I will say it flat out. I mess up every single day, but I do know this one thing: who's going to remember tomorrow? And if you and I will say this, nobody's going to remember, because no one cares except you. Once I ingrained that in my head, everything got better, because no one cares. No one cares about your mistakes. And here's another thing: no one can see it except you. No one can see it except you. But when you react to the mistake that you made, and then only you know, people will know. But when you act like nothing ever happened, it's like art. Beautiful. No one is going to know, and no one cares. Right when I got that philosophy in my head, that whole philosophy in my head, everything got better. It got better not only in my public speaking, and not only got better in my MC, but it got better in my life, because there's 95% chance that they're not going to see you tomorrow. So who cares?
That's an awesome mindset. Back then, when I first started public speaking, I remember my first speech, I had speaker's paralysis. I stood there, I forgot what to say. But as a beginner, how would you, any advice on how could one become a public speaker?
I will say, if you want to get started doing public speaking, find a Toastmasters. They're actually very excellent resource to go to. They'll help you with your speaking, your technique, your style. They will help with everything. And they'll give you feedback on what you need to work on and what you don't need to work on. And I did a Toastmasters last month. And of course, this was at my work, because we'll host the Toastmasters once a month. And I decided to speak. I got invited to speak for 7 minutes, and I talked about the W lifestyle. The W lifestyle is called the winning lifestyle. Everything I do is all about W's. So, and then I had to leave. Obviously, I had to leave because I had another engagement that I needed to get to after work. And, well, it wasn't after work. It was another engagement at work that I needed to get to. And I remember I left, and I came back to work, and I saw all their feedback on my desk. And I was like, what is this? And just got feedback after one and another. And I was like, man, these Toastmasters, because I actually didn't think about it. But when I did it and I saw like the feedback that I got, it was nothing but good words. And I was like, really? And the only con that people gave me was that they wanted more. I couldn't, because I had 7 minutes. So I would say go to a Toastmasters. That is where you need to go to. Go to a Toastmasters, and then find other public speaking groups that you could be part of. There's free meetup groups that you can go to, network. There's also, look at Eventbrite. Look at what public speaking seminars or courses, whatever the case may be, whether it be online or in person, you got to find your sweet spot. You got to find your groove. And it could be anything. It could be the littlest thing that you probably oversaw that you were just like, wow, that's all I needed to do.
You are a masterful storyteller. What is your storytelling techniques?
I like to be real with it. My storytelling technique is just being authentic. I will say this. I like to tell detail by detail, right? And that's sometimes how my conversations go, because I want to make sure I don't leave anything off, but because I don't want to be vague. But my storytelling technique is just be raw, and just tell it. You know, I remember back in high school when I got the yearbook. And then there was a couple of notes on my yearbook that people wrote, and it's like, damn you and your stories. I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss your stories. I was like, man, I was always a storyteller, but I never saw it that way. But I will always tell people stories, and I would just tell it like, oh my God, let me just say this. I would hype it up and make it suspenseful, and then I would just, it'll be either uh a very good ending, or it'll be just like, damn, that sucks. Or sometimes it just end up in laughter, and I'm like, I wasn't even trying to be funny.
What kind of stories does your audience like?
I think the stories that people tend to like is the stories that relate to them. Those are the best stories because it's relatable. And I'm pretty sure that if I told you a story that was very relatable, whether it be about dating, whether it be about work, whether it be about not having a job or about entrepreneurship, anything that's related and relatable, if I can relate to you, then it's an awesome story. Like those are my favorite ones. Now I could tell fairy tales, but I say that for my nephew. He's about to be 2, or my nieces and stuff like that. So, but I just find something that is just relatable, something that I've experienced, or something that I do want to experience, right? Or I see it through other people. It's like I want to know what this is like. But then again, I see it through other people. I'm like, nah, I'll tell their story for them from my perspective.
Cool. So stories about adversity might fit like a common theme.
Yeah, I think so. I think so because I mean, you remember the day. Well, you remember Rocky.
Oh
Everybody,
yeah, I was going to mention that too, Rocky.
everybody likes a Rocky story. And I mean, another thing why Michael Jordan is so popular and why people so much consider him as the greatest of all time, because people find themselves relatable. He was the guy that went from nothing to getting cut from basketball to now getting accepted to UNC, winning a championship, after hitting a clutch jump shot, and then going into the NBA, going through the grunt of getting to the NBA finals, going through those rough playoffs, and then winning 6 championships. It will never be done. I don't think it'll be done. I don't even think it'll be done for having 2 3-peats. But that was something that everybody can see themselves going from nothing to something. And that is why I think those kind of stories everyone wants to relate to, and they want to see themselves in it because it gives off hope. And I know hope can feel like it's just this, it feels like nothing. But when you have a little ounce of it, when you have a little ounce of hope, I mean, it's a beautiful thing when it comes to wow.
Awesome. Nothing to something story. And
Yeah.
you have a lot of stories to tell, and you meet a lot of people. What are some networking techniques that you employ to make yourself successful?
Okay. I like this one. That's actually one of my favorite questions. So I think the thing that you got to do is just, first off, be real, but also be honest, right? People know you're in a network. Everybody has to know this. When you go into a networking event, we are all selling each other. We're all selling ourselves first and then our services, right? How awesome are you? How cool are you? Am I relatable? Are you relatable? Like, yada, yada, yada. Be authentic, Don't play this here. Take my card. Call me if you need this. It's going to come off as like, dude, I don't want to even be your friend. Like the networking advice that I would say, go in with no expectations, but don't go in with the expectation. Excuse me, let me take that back. Go in with the expectation of having fun, being present, and just being open to meeting people. Because when you have that mindset, you're going to meet a lot of people, and people are going to want to meet you. And then guess what? The networking will take care of itself. I network for a living because obviously I sell memberships at a private club. And when I go to these networking events, my whole objective is just to have fun and then get some business. And then obviously it is to get business, but when I get it, it's from an authentic space. Because obviously when people ask what I do, I mean, I'll tell them what I do. And then I say, what do you do? But another thing about networking, and I'm going to make sure this is make sure your audience knows this. Ask them about them, because that's what getting to know someone is like, and see how you can help them. Maybe your services can help, or maybe you need their services. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you are just going there to get to know them.
Wonderful. And just to follow up with that question, when you go to a networking event, is not bringing your sales pitch to that new person, but it's about connecting with that person. And sales pitch is for later, right? Business is later, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Here's I got a secret. When I go into these networking events and come with those sales pitch, I never bring a sales pitch. I never think about a sales pitch because I'm not having a script in my head saying, this is the sales pitch. This is what I got to say. When you have a sales pitch and you bring that to a networking event, you're done, because people are going to smell that. They're going to sense that. They're going to see it. And you're going to come off as inauthentic. So my whole thing is, when you get to know them, you're getting to know them. The sales pitch, it's just, there's no sales pitch. That's how I see it.
Oh, so networking events. Basically, if that person finds you interesting, you two will exchange cards, and business was just follow up later.
Yeah. Business will happen later, because I will get their card. I hit them up the next day and email them. They like it. They like what I got. Cool. They don't like what I got. That's cool too. I'm going to keep moving on. Kind of like dating.
So during your emailing process and phoning them the next day, do you bring up your sales pitch, or do you just tell them more about your service that you offer?
Well, in the email, when it comes to the phone, because part of my job is I invite them up to come to get a tour with me or my boss, right? And I'll be flat out, because I will tell them flat out, like, because they heard about my business, they heard about like what I do for a living, I heard about what they do for a living, and then I got to know them, et cetera, et cetera. And I hit them up the next day and I just tell them, I'd love to invite you up for a tour and get a deeper exploration of membership at where I work at. And they say yes, cool. They say no, cool. They want more information, I'll email them. If I don't hear from them or stuff like that, I'll follow up with an email and just keep it pushing.
Oh, so do you find that phone works better or email works better?
Both works better. Both will work. See, when you are in sales, and I will say this to every entrepreneur out there, sweatpants to suits, all right? Let me just say that if you're hungry and you have a pipeline, and let's just say you got a pipeline of leads that you just met in one day, and the next thing you know, you want to follow up the next day. Phone, if you don't hear from them via phone, send an email. If you heard from them via phone and you set up an appointment, no need for an email unless they request it. But phone, email, they will let you know. Some people will ghost you. Some people will tell you. Some people will dangle the cherry in front of you, or the carrot. I don't know the whole thing, but it's the game of sales.
Game of sales. Awesome advice. How can the audience reach out to you, Dominic?
Absolutely. Well, audience can reach out to me if you're interested in having someone host your events as an event MC, and you want the crowd to be into it, energetic, and just feeling alive. You can find me at Mr. Dominic Cruz on Instagram, MrDominic or you can email me at dominic@dominiccruz.com. There you can reach out to me whether you want me for public speaking or you want me for an MC role. I'm at your service. And when I say I make things easy for you, I make things easy for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dominic. I'll make sure to put those two links in the description as well as the LinkedIn post. Thank you so much for the opportunity today to interview you and hear your golden advice.
I really appreciate you, Jerry, for having me on your show. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to share it. This is going to be fun.